That man too dey talk, he too dey talk. Say my Mayegun diary, he dey hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Woman pikin dey the street dey hawk. Still them talk say, make we no talk. But thank God say, Mayegun don come. So my people make you laugh. Oh, yo, yo, Mayegun.
Hello there.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Mayegun Live. This is also Sunday sermon on Mayegun's Diary Politico. If some of the words to be used is going to get under your skin, please don't watch this broadcast. If you are someone that has the mind of political correctness, please don't watch this broadcast. If you're also the type that is everything God, 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 I don't want to insult your God, please don't watch this broadcast. If you are an Agbadorian, a bastard, I advise you for your own sake, don't watch this broadcast. To be forewarned is to be forearmed. It is for your own good and for our own good. Everyone else, share this broadcast. Invite your friends and your not so friendly friends. There is Robodion. On top of this aircraft, Tifnumbus aircraft, confiscated in France, people don't they throw mud, stones, biriki, and evil mortars. Thank you so much. Read beyond the caption as well. Obasanjo relishes the Nigeria genocidal war. Now is on the side of the Igbos. Share this. Mutide. So good morning to you once again. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. It is Mayegun Live. Yesterday, we finally got the response of Irokunle Amosun, that I kind of like to call Amoshi. The former governor of Ogun State, the man behind the old Rogbodion that led to a $74 million, 74 million euro court settlement, which they called an embarrassment. A whole country, a whole Nigeria, anyone in this part of the world who have the audacity to want to confiscate Nigerian properties, they are acting surprised. But despite of their bilateral agreements that they are signing left, right, and center, most of them, they are not willing to really fulfill. So the story behind this confiscated presidential jets in France is no longer news to some of you. But a bit a bit of a catch up. In 2001, Nigeria and China, they signed a deal that allows Nigeria and then Chinese businesses, in fact, Chinese businesses or businessmen to settle in Nigeria. This deal was not really put to use until 2010. The governor that signed the deal on behalf of Ogun State and others, it wasn't just Ogun State, there were other states too, but this particular one, Ogun State, that was Oshoba. Then Benga Daniel became governor. He too was always like frequenting China at the time because I was there. I experienced the entire 8 years of Daniel, right? So it seems like the Chinese deal was fine until Benga Daniel left in 2011. Amosun came in. When Amosun became governor, the first thing everyone believed he did was to cancel all of the contract, agreement, biz deal, or whatever it is that people have committed hundreds of millions of naira, billions of naira. I mean, Benga Daniel sold almost the entire Ogun State. Well, at the time, we generally believe he sold them to his friends, choice lands, government properties, hotels, and all those. Benga Daniel sold them in the name of public partnership deal. So the war of politics in Ogun State, especially between Amosun and Daniel, right, was more or less like something everyone expected. That once Amosun became governor, he was probably going to cancel majority of them or take some of them back, and he did. The first casualty of that was Akogun Olumide. I don't know if some of you remember him. Oye, I know you are watching. What's that man's name again? Akogun Olumide, the man that committed suicide. The one that bought part of the Gateway hotels and a few other properties from Benga Daniel's government. And when Amosun came, these people said they have invested so much money renovating some of the properties, brought in investors who have invested so much money. Boom. Benga Daniel couldn't make his own stooge, the next governor. So his sworn enemy, long-term political friend and enemy, Amosun, became governor. So Amosun started cancelling everything. So the major one, which is that of Ogun State Free Trade Zone, that was meant to be a place, like a city of its own. Nearly 1,000 hectares of land. I'm talking about over 4,000 plots of land were taken from the indigenous people of those places. No compensation, no nothing. Well, they gave them as all the Chinese that wanted to come and invest in Nigeria can stay in Ogun State and use Ogun State. In fact, Ogun State was to build them a cargo airport so that all those things they will be taking from Ogun State, they can be flying them out of Ogun State from Ogun State Cargo Airport. That was Benga's idea. So Amosun cancelled everything. But what Amosun now said yesterday, okay, hang on, before we get to yesterday. So Amosun cancelled everything. Some people, okay, I know of one person that committed suicide, that killed himself. That Akogun, right? And it wasn't just like he was frustrated to that, right? There were so many other people who lost money. I just heard that today that Patu Tommy and his own investors, they lost over 100 million naira in this same. So if you were from Ogun State or around that time, and towards the end of Benga Daniel's time, we were so naive. I personally felt like Amosun was doing things that way then, saving us, whatever they could save, because Benga Daniel don't finish that state. Truly. But it wasn't because of Gbenga Daniel. So Amosun didn't cancel everything outrightly. He actually went into recognizing this group, another group, which he himself decided to hand the free trade zone to. Meanwhile, before that, they've already appointed someone, the real company that got the concession and the rest of that. Okay. So when that didn't really last, because they were in courts in Nigeria, court here, court there, the next thing, 6 years after, 5 years after Amosun became governor, 2016, Amosun decided that he's had enough of all these guys. They were probably the last giving him a headache among those people that's kind of benefited from Gbenga Daniel's government policy, the Chinese then. So these ones are Gbenga's friend. These ones are my friend. But these ones won't let these ones have the place they build, right? So it's time for us to use the Nigerian influence. So what did Amosun do? Amosun first called in the police by saying these guys are dubious and they are criminals, impostors. They are laying claim to what? Even though all documents, everything showed. But because Amosun want to get rid of them in the Nigerian style, they didn't care about any bilateral international agreement at the time. Despite faking an agreement with other group to make it look like, okay, these ones are legit, the real owners are not. He decided to call in the police. The police one day arrested all the Chinese associated with that company. Pick them up, those who are on site and those who are in their different places, they picked them up. While they were at the station, right? The immigration came and told them their visas have been cancelled. So they cancelled all their visas, and that same moment they got rid of them in 2016. That was why you didn't hear much about the case inside Nigeria. So the people now took it to the International Arbitration Court. That's a place where trade disputes between countries and companies can be resolved. Okay? So if you have your case to prove, right there they said, well, we've invested this and that, and due to this disruption and then illegal termination, no compensation, they believe that they deserve so and so. All those while, Nigeria was served, not just Ogun State, even when what do you call his name? Even when Dubious Dapo became their governor in 2019, they were still served about this case in the UK court of arbitration. However, the Chinese were no longer interested. The company was no longer interested in settling out of court or whatever. They just want to cut their losses, get their compensation, and say bye-bye. That was why they were in court. So Ogun State, Nigeria, they didn't put up any real defense. The government of Nigeria, the government of Ogun State, they didn't put up any counter argument against these guys in the UK arbitration court. So the court now ruled. When the court ruled, that was when, because the court said the properties of Nigeria, two properties, one dilapidated, the other one almost same, abandoned properties of Nigeria in Liverpool, that this company could take those properties. That was when Nigeria now reacted. They now said, oh, this company ambushed us. We didn't even know about this case. We didn't even know all these things going on. That was the argument. So they appealed. They lost again. Now, when they lost, it was time like, well, even if we lose, all our properties have immunity. So no company can just go and take any property of any country. That was what they were telling themselves. They've got lawyers. They've got attorney generals in Nigeria. They've got attorney general in Ogun State. But none of them could tell them that, listen, yes, they can take your properties. Especially if they call rules in those countries. Are you with me? So yeah, they are claiming that they were ambushed and all that. So it was time now for this company to try and effect the court ruling that says they deserve compensation. And Nigeria won't pay. So let's begin to target their properties. That of Liverpool property they took. Okay, the judgment came in 2021. Since 2016, by 2021, the court ruled. By the end of 2021, Nigeria tried to appeal. They lost that appeal, which automatically means the company owns the two properties in Liverpool today. But the reason why you are hearing the loud noise is because they have also confiscated another court in France. They have another court in America who also ruled, just so you know. This is like an already ongoing for years. So Tifnumbu and Co., maybe they didn't give them the handover notes. So I am not going to completely really blame Tifnumbu here. It doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't save him from others. So, because in this case, it simply means Tifnumbu's government, Boko Haram's government did not tell Tifnumbu government that there is a court case which this company and this Ogun state, they had a deal and they've taken the properties of our property in Liverpool. Since 2021, they've taken the property. Since 2021, this is 2024. Now, in 2024, they got another court judgment this month in France that says they can take the Nigerian presidential jets. So this company went to court in France and asked the court that we have just been told that there are 3 presidential jets, Nigeria presidential jets, parked on the Paris airport. Court, please. These people are owing us 75 million euro. We need you to help us confiscate it. And they presented that. This one now happened under Tifnumbu, which this one is not like there is another case. A case of, we want to take this your plane. No. This is a case of somebody we don't win already, looking for where and where it can recover anything that will pay off the debt. You get that now? So Tifnumbu's government had to plead and say, come, we didn't know about all of this. Initially, all this graph for social media and all that, leave them. So the company now said, we don't have any intention of claiming your property or keeping them. We just want you to honor the court judgment. You have already appealed. You've lost. They need to tell you that too. So right now, the issue is, are you ready to? If you are not willing to pay, then we'll take all this stuff. And then if you continue not paying us, then we'll sell them off. Right now, we don't want to keep your plane. We don't want to keep your property. We just want you to pay us. So that negotiation stuff now is what is on, right? So, Patty Tommy, and sorry, hang on. Yesterday, Amosun now responded. He said, number one, he initially signed the termination by error, simply because these two companies, there were two companies laying claim to the free trade zone. And his own government investigated and discovered that this one that won the case, they were dubious one. Okay. Meanwhile, he's already signed the fake one, which means he mistakenly terminated these ones he called dubious. They were not straightforward, but people know that's not the story. So this, I see this morning, early this morning, Patty Tommy now went on X, Twitter, to go and lament about what it was like when Amosun was a governor. Here is part of them, right? Said, so they impounded the Nigerian presidential jet with question mark. That is the ultimate symbol of national emasculation. How did we get here? Do we need a presidential jet fleet? Those who win us on the milk of the modern states, Britain, do not have such for their prime minister. But at one time, before Air Peace, the presidential fleet in the Nigeria of poor people had more jets than most commercial airlines in the country. So I'm going to even talk about that one a little bit. Isn't it really, really crazy? That true. The president of United States of America, the most powerful country on earth, and the richest country on earth as well, by all standard. I don't know, so many people will disagree, but yeah, we are not here to argue about anything, okay? Anyway, you shall know, the United States of America, that's almost everything. The president of the United States of America has one plane, Air Force One, and one chopper. What do you call that one again? What do you call that Air Force One? What do you call your chopper for the POTUS? Then you have the Air Force Two, another smaller aircraft, and then maybe another small chopper, making it four. That's the powerful, richest country in the world. Britain, also one of the richest countries in the world, richest economies in the world. The Prime Minister of Britain flies British Airways. This is a country that is economy is like times 100 of what a mess these guys have made that of Nigeria. But the poor country, Nigeria, has like about 13, 5, 10, 11, 12, 13 aircrafts that sometimes they actually mock the people. We want to sell aircraft, it's a lie. They are ordering more, they are buying more. The president gets like one. The wife of the president get one. The vice president get one. The wife of the vice president get one, making it 4. The Senate president get one. The speaker has one. The chief of staff get one. The chief of army staff and the rest of the service chiefs, they have one. Who else they? Baba. Now, so everybody gets the ones that they just like order Uber. Nigeria, I don't know how many airlines in Nigeria that have more. I mean, they have like about 13 to 14 aircraft, including choppers. How many? But the poor country and the criminal politicians, this same guy don't buy yacht, luxury yacht, the one that chopper can land on it. They have ordered him one, and then he has now ordered another two new aircrafts, over 150 billion naira. So it's now out of that they have three presidential aircraft parked in France for Nigeria. 3 aircraft. That's the confiscated one. So they now told them that, okay, we'll give you one. We are going to release one. Because normal, 2 of them cannot move for now. Remember that they are supposed to be new aircraft if nobody just bought for himself and cheat him, Anabi. Here is the thing. The new aircraft is also not new. Just like your new Anthem, which is also not new. They go buy used aircraft. We say don't get like 7-8 years. In fact, according to them, one of them has like a 9 years lifespan. You know, that means the plane don't they fly for 9 years, and they just buy them. They are doing customizing it in France. Here you get it's part of the confiscated planes in France. 2 planes plus another one, making 3. Poor country. Anyway, so Patrick Tommy went on talking about Amosun. Sorry, I'm going to read this one. Okay, so you may see me put my face, like fixate my face on the side. Well, I'm just reading what you told me I had to say. He said, so it was Governor Amosun's violation of contract terms signed by his predecessor that brought the shame of seizure of jets from the presidential fleet. I hope he is happy at his achievement. The whole matter is karma at work. The Chinese were not the only victims. One prominent Ogun indigene allegedly committed suicide with similar Amosun action. I too was a victim. I had leased OPIC land in Lagos in a BOT agreement under Governor Daniel. Amosun stopped all such on being sworn in. I called him. He said he did not see my name on the list. I went to Abeokuta and he called in Yowande Amosun, who said mine was a straightforward deal. They did not include it. He asked that all be included, but mine be quickly sorted. That began a rigmarole that went on for years. I made another trip to Abeokuta. He drove me back to Lagos at the wheels with my driver trailing along with the escorts and sirens. He had earlier asked that I make a request for a refund of what I paid, even though my South African partners and I had invested 200 million naira in addition to the lease amount at the time. So, with just two of us in the car, he advised I make a claim for 100 million naira and write for additional payments the day